as far as the character of the sound goes, I was able to go for one of my favorite sounds, one that I'm comfortable with, that feels more like my personal signature, and it's a pretty dark. It's quite a bit of gain, but not fizzy and high end. Just kind of fat and rich, and I'm gonna work through this whole solo phrase by phrase. I hope you're able to hear those three categories of events that I was talking about, that I was kind of tossing around in this solo. It starts right away in the key of G minor again. That was the first type of event I was thinking of, which are a simple grounding kind of bluesy lines in the key of the song. That's pretty basic. And then the chords quickly, take a left turn, but because that feels a lot like E flat minor, that's why I ended up playing. I'm thinking of E flat minor 7th to A flat 7, and then resolving back to the G minor. And I'm on the A on the G minor 9. I land on the A, and then we're going into the key of D flat through an A flat 13 to the D flat. So for that one, you can see it's right. The A flat. I'm really thinking about chords as usual for me. Here's the. So that's. You can see it. You can hear it. That's the A flat 13 chord. I'm really outlining those juicy notes. And that's on the D flat major 7th there. So that's a crazy resolution, but that's what the tune does. So I resolve into that 9th, that juicy note on the G minor. And then we're going to another key, into D this time, through A13, and again to a D major 7th. So I'm really on chord tones again. The A13, and then D. These are D notes in the D major 7 chord. But that D is when we return to the G minor. Again, a chord tone, and then again, the first idea, another grounding kind of bluesy line to sort of reassure the listener that, we're still in this key, even though we're taking these little journeys, we're coming back home. And then there's that wacky chord. So I just kind of did a little arpeggio thing. Now here's the next little section. This is now bar 13. Here's an example of. Here's a kind of a mini example of setting up a kind of pattern and then breaking it. So playing with expectations again. I play quarter note figure on that G minor bar. Very, very strict quarter note rhythm. So it sounds like I could have gone and just given the audience or the listener just the exact same rhythm. But that felt like too much. That felt boring and uninteresting. So what I ended up doing was kind of just delaying by an eighth note the first two notes of the second repetition of it. So that's a kind of a mini example of how soloists will do this. I think I wasn't thinking that very consciously about that, but when I listened back to it, I said, okay, that's what I was doing. I was trying to keep it interesting for me as a listener too. So that's kind of an example of what I'm talking about too. Anyway, continuing. And then one of these jazzy lines. We've had a couple of them already before, but this is another one. It's a little bluesy too, but it's not. It's I'm starting here. And then here comes the third type of event I was talking about before. It's a it's a rhythmic theme in a way. Hear that that rhythm, dot 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 dot. Right. So I get to that rhythmic theme in some different ways. I'll set it up in different ways, but you're going to hear it happening quite a bit. Right there, you hear it. So it's that. That's the very rhythm I'm talking about. And then I add a little line. No, I'm sorry. And there's that same rhythmic theme again. So I'm connecting it. I'm mixing some of these elements up to keep it interesting, but I'm giving you that same da 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 da, but I'm giving it to you on every chord in different chords. So I think the reason I was able to get away with so few ideas tossing around, there's really only three or four different things. I think the reason I was able to get away with that is because the chords, just by trying to stay inside the chords, because they're going all over the place, they're providing enough of the interest so you can play that same rhythm, and just because you're accommodating the chords, the harmony does a lot of the work for you. So moving into measure 20, we have little arpeggiation like the first time, but now I'm using it on these two chromatic chords. And then we're back into, again, one of those bluesy grounding lines on G minor. So you know what key I'm in there, but then right away we have to accommodate these chords. I'm thinking E flat minor 7th again. You get the idea. What's it? What is it? Same thing there. I'm really thinking E flat minor 7th to A flat 7 there. Back. Now I'm using that kind of sliding technique, but I'm really on notes in the chord again. It's a G minor 9, I'm on the 9, the 11th, the 7th, the 9th, and then I hit the B flat on the downbeat of the A flat 13 chord. And then back to the G minor again. And then again, here's that rhythmic repetition. And then back into the G minor again. Again, so I think I was looking for grounding when I was playing this tune, because those chord changes really are kind of wild. But that's what's beautiful about it. Then I'm firmly in the blues rock world with this next little lick, which I'll play slowly for you. But then it changes. So that's that whole section there. It starts, but because I'm accommodating again the E flat minor. Let's see, what does it do? Like, yeah. If you think of E flat minor, always think of the chord, and you'll make some sense out of these lines. Right. That really sounds like it's right in on that chord. And then, but then I'm firmly back in G minor on that downbeat. Again, blues. And then this kind of little flurry of notes on the D flat major, in the key of D flat major 7. Like, but again, landing on that 9 on when the G minor returns. So slowly that's. So ba 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 da 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 da. Again, that's all G minor, right in the key. And then we're going to the key of E, with the B13 to the E, and I play another one of those jazzy lines. that finishes out. Now take a look. Take a look. We didn't talk about this one, but remember that line that went earlier in the solo? Well, at the end, I go. So it's in a way, it's kind of mirroring that. It's going the other direction, but it's that same rhythm and it's the same sort of slide technique. So there's, again, I'm sort of trying to play with the audience's memory there. I'm encouraging them to pay attention because they will not be disappointed. I'm going to refer back to things I played before. So because that's what lights up our brains when we make those connections. So this, I think this song is a great example of how to take a few basic sort of concepts and toss them around with the whole idea of keeping the listener engaged.